Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. I am Chip Skipper coming to you live for another night of fantastic independent pro wrestling. We are here tonight at RVA Pro Wrestling here in Richmond, Virginia, hence the name RVA. And coming down to the ring first is Caleb Konley, a man who you might know better as Caleb with a K because he has worked in major promotions all over the world for the last 20 years. Caleb Konley is quite a name. Pro Wrestling Illustrated named him as one of the top wrestlers in the world throughout most of the 2010s. He is a master technician of the ring. And there's likely no trick and no hold that he hasn't seen. That being said, Caleb Konley might be described as over the hump by some, but he would describe himself as being in a new era. But one such person that would describe him as being over the hump is the fresh new blood of Sledge Gibson, with his cheek clapper 9000 utensil held highly in his hand and also held highly in the esteems of this audience. He is a fan favorite by far. He is quite literally a hometown hero. Straight from Richmond, Virginia, the one and only Sledge Gibson. The fans are firmly behind him in his quest to slap and clap cheeks of all kinds, but primarily of the pale variety. And Caleb Konley is essentially a piece of paper that is a little sunburned here and there. So I imagine that Sledge Gibson would be more than happy to put his hands on all four cheeks of Caleb Konley multiple times in rapid succession. Maybe all six cheeks if you count the pecs as a cheek, and if you count a knife-edge chop as a clap or a slap. Regardless, two men jacking jaws here. And Caleb Konley, many times the champion, although maybe not quite cutting it as a champion on some of the biggest stages, but he has definitely earned some gold. Right now, Caleb Konley is holding 2 title belts from the independents around the country, and there goes the bell, and this match is underway. Sledge Gibson, Caleb Konley. This is as clean-cut a match between new and old, insider versus outsider, that there has ever been that I've seen on this channel. And they lock up Caleb Konley immediately, taking full control of the arm, full control of the wrist, immediately showing his technical advantage over Sledge Gibson, not allowing any clapping or slapping of any kind. Irish whip by Sledge Gibson, immediately countered right back into some arm bar, a standing arm bar by Caleb Konley. Again, this man has started up an opening grapple for 2 decades. He has a full career doing this. He has been on some of the biggest stages. There is nothing that Sledge Gibson could do in these opening moves that Caleb Konley hasn't seen. Caleb Konley, oh my God, the huge athleticism from Sledge Gibson, managing to avoid the attack in the corner, taking the back of Caleb Konley. Caleb Konley trying to find his way out of it. Roll up by Sledge Gibson, very nearly getting a 3 count. Caleb Konley not thrown off guard, but Sledge Gibson managing to catch him off guard regardless. But Caleb Konley, reversal after reversal after reversal. Sledge Gibson using his athleticism to his advantage to roll up Caleb Konley once again. Fast-paced, high-octane action here at RVA Pro Wrestling, immediately locking up again. This time, Sledge Gibson getting an advantage in a headlock. Caleb Konley refusing to let him maintain that advantage, but finally, oh my God! Caleb Konley, a lot more strength behind that shoulder barge than Sledge Gibson was expecting. Sledge Gibson, oh my God! The leapfrog, the roll under, Sledge Gibson rolling over the back, managing to avoid Caleb Konley through sheer speed. Caleb Konley being thrown completely out of whack, but just barely managing to avoid an uppercut, probably to the butt. Imagine a clapping of the cheek. Oh my God, elbow smack to the back by Sledge Gibson to Caleb Konley. Sledge Gibson trying to get an abdominal stretch in place. Caleb Konley sensing danger, rolling out of the ring. That was an extremely high-octane set of maneuvers between these two men. Reversal after reversal after reversal. Caleb Konley clearly having the experience advantage, being able to counter all of the grapples of Sledge Gibson, but Sledge Gibson using his youthful energy to cleanly avoid the worst of Caleb Konley's maneuvers, but he hits him with a knife-edge chop, a head smash into the apron. Sledge Gibson avoiding it. Knife-edge chop of Sledge Gibson's own, followed by an elbow smash. If we can get them back on screen, thank you very much. Into the apron once again. Sledge Gibson, bit of a nerd, Bit of a videographer himself, clearly not the one in charge of that bit of... Okay, I'm being mean. Regardless, Sledge Gibson now on the apron trying to get the fans behind him once again, spending a little too long doing it. Caleb Konley kicking the middle rope, crotching Sledge Gibson, one of the few legal ways to do so. Referee trying to get on Caleb Konley's case, but Caleb Konley knows that he does not have a case. Caleb Konley getting distracted by the audience. Maybe Sledge Gibson was right to get them riled up in his favor. Caleb Konley now resorting to just some basic strikes to the forehead. Picking up by the trunks. Slugging him in the back. Caleb Konley clearly both amused and not amused at the concept of slapping and clapping cheeks. But he spends a little bit too long showboating. Sledge Gibson on the comeback. Caleb Konley sweeping spin. Taking his leg out from under his leg. Huge senton from Caleb Konley. Almost getting a 3 count off of that enormous high senton from Caleb Konley. Again, this man is no slouch. He has survived 2 decades in this industry. He knows a thing or two. Elbow drop, snap elbow drop, not giving Sledge Gibson any time to respond. He knows how good Sledge Gibson is at avoiding it, and he probably saw him stirring there, going for the snap elbow, followed by a high knee drop once he was sure that Sledge Gibson could not respond. Going for a bit of a cocky pin there against Sledge Gibson. Caleb Konley feeling quite full of himself. His veteran wiles serving him very nicely in this match so far. Caleb Konley raking the back of Sledge Gibson. Oh my God, forcing him back up to a kneeling position. Incredible combinations from Caleb Konley, manipulating the positioning of his opponent to perfection. Trying to rile up Sledge Gibson. What does Caleb Konley have planned here? I don't know if it involved getting struck in the face multiple times, or maybe it did. Sweeping Sledge Gibson with his arms as Sledge Gibson went to run the ropes. I think Caleb Konley knew exactly what he was doing, trying to rile Sledge Gibson up into some relatively weaker strikes before he was able to take him back down to the mat. Caleb Konley coming into RVA, probably believing that this could be just another easy win for him. Probably on his way to the top of RVA, probably earning himself another title, a 3rd one to add to his collection if he can put away the fan favorite Sledge Gibson tonight. Pulling Sledge Gibson up to his feet, slowly, methodically, huge knife-edge chop, elbow strike from Caleb Konley, lining up, gut kick. Caleb Konley not letting up on Sledge Gibson at all, throwing him into the corner. What does Caleb Konley have planned here? Can Sledge Gibson fight back? Caleb Konley, what is he doing here? Is he biting the forehead? Trying to avoid the sight of the referee. Referee thinking that was just a choke. Referee not sure what to make of that spit behind Konley. Oh my God, the fans distracting Caleb Konley long enough for Sledge Gibson to rile himself up. The striking combination in the corner to Caleb Konley, yeeting him into the other side of the ring. Sledge Gibson full head of steam. Caleb Konley trying to avoid it. Managing to extend his legs, get Sledge Gibson back down on the mat. Caleb Konley going to the middle turnbuckle. He wants to finish it all off right here. For some high-flying maneuvers, can Caleb Konley finish it off? Taking his time here. Oh my God. Intentional flying nothing to provoke the boot from Sledge Gibson, but Sledge Gibson avoiding the elbow drop. Counter after counter between these two men. Sledge Gibson, much more formidable foe than Caleb Konley was probably expecting. Watching a clash of chess masters here. Oh my God, running European uppercut, one of the slickest moves in the industry. Huge running knee. Sledge Gibson running the ropes, whiffing a second knee. Lariat whiffing from Caleb Konley. Spine buster! Enormous airtime! Almost getting the 3 count. Sledge Gibson very nearly had Caleb Konley there with that enormous spine buster. Holy! The force on that, the impact on that. Caleb Konley, all the air knocked out of his body. Probably using just sheer muscle memory to kick out of that one. Caleb Konley absolutely winded after that strike. Sledge Gibson ready to take advantage. Fireman's carry, center of the ring. Caleb Konley desperately fighting back from behind, forcing him to the ropes. Sledge Gibson this time manages to push Caleb Konley off, whiffing the lariat. Huge uppercut from Caleb Konley. Caleb Konley taking the backdrop. No, putting him onto the top turnbuckle. Boot to the back. Caleb Konley, oh my God, he's forcing him into a tree of woe. Stomp! Leaping stomp off of the bottom rope, not enough. Not enough for the 3-count pin. Caleb Konley, a master of manipulating his opponent's position, getting Sledge Gibson upside down there in the tree of woe for using the bottom rope as height for that vicious stomp into the mat. What does Sledge Gibson have to do to survive this onslaught? Caleb Konley still a bit winded from the damage earlier, still a bit distracted by the crowd. This sport really is a battle of charisma at times. Sledge Gibson smacked to the face while Caleb Konley was distracted, climbing up to the top turnbuckle. He has him. Could he be going for a top rope Spanish fly here? Two men brawling it out in a very dangerous part of the ring. Caleb Konley going up to the top rope. No, he's going down to the apron. Changing his tack, shoulder thrust through the middle rope. Caleb Konley, slingshot, not quite landing. Sledge Gibson more than prepared. He's got a DDT. Oh my God, hung up, neck breaker from the top rope. Using that top rope to force Caleb Konley's legs higher into the air, getting more of a vertical impact on the top of his head. Caleb Konley grabbing the bottom rope. The ring awareness of Caleb Konley being able to avoid damnation there by Sledge Gibson. Both men exhausted, but Sledge Gibson up to his feet first. Caleb Konley, I've seen this timeout so many times before, taking the legs, using the ropes to his advantage, referee's not falling for that one. Caleb Konley had that set up. He had that in his bag of tricks already. But it is kind of a luck-based maneuver, hoping that the referee won't spot that clear sign of illegal leverage using the ropes. Sledge Gibson back up to his feet. Caleb Konley once again distracted by the audience, by the referee. He feels that everyone is against him, and they are. Sledge Gibson rolling out of the corner, back kick to the gut, front kick to the chest, whiffs the roundhouse, but manages to get the back kick on the return. Avoids the lariat. What the, oh my God. Caleb Konley prepared for something. Sledge Gibson going for a smack. Caleb Konley, huge high kick. Caleb Konley, though, not enough energy to get back to his feet. A rolling up to his feet, going for an air raid crash off of the roll. He's got him in the air raid crash position. Can he finish him off? No! Caleb Konley managing to elbow his way out of it. Sledge Gibson coming from behind with an abdominal stretch. He's got the hand wound up. He's ready to clap some cheeks. The embarrassment for Caleb Konley. Sledge Gibson, smack after smack of those Caucasian cheeks of Caleb Konley. Words of Sledge Gibson, not my words necessarily. Caleb Konley not enjoying that demeaning display. Holy shit, fireman slam. And that's enough. Sledge Gibson with a dominating victory at the end. Assertive win in the W column for Sledge Gibson, taking out the veteran newcomer to this area. Sledge Gibson putting away Caleb Konley, continuing his status as the fans' golden boy. Sledge Gibson is a rising star of RVA and quite possibly a rising star of this industry after that win. A huge win for Sledge Gibson over Caleb Konley. Caleb Konley is not a name to be taken lightly, even in his elder years. An excellent performance from both men. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Chip Skipper. This has been RVA Pro Wrestling. Go check them out. If you're in the Richmond area, you can go check them out in person or take a gander at their YouTube channel. I am Chip Skipper. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Congratulations to Sledge Gibson. Good night, everyone.